How we're doing today? We're back in hell again. So, I would like to welcome everyone to the show. We are back in hell, and we have a show that we're doing today, and we got to fix everything. Give me a second to fix everything. And everything is, got to get this angle right on the camera. Give me a second. Okay, so we're good. So I would like to welcome everyone to our show. This is our show for Wednesday. We're on the Spirit Room Network. And this is Knowledge from Beyond. We got to do our checks and make sure everything is doing good, but we should be doing good. We should be doing very well. And give me 1 second. Hold on, please. Let me dial this in. We got to make sure this is going to be a good show, but this is going to be a very scary show. If you're a weak of heart, maybe you should skip this show. I hate to say, we're talking about something that is not for everyone. This is not for the weak of heart. I love big attendance, but some people are not ready for this subject. I hate to say.
Okay.
So, if you are listening, that means you are ready. So we are my name is Lynn David Litsey. I'm your full spectrum Gnostic. And who am I with here today?
Lisa.
It's Lynn and Lisa. And what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about in the Halls of Valhalla, where the brave shall live forever.
Excellent.
Okay.
So let's get on to that Valhalla. Valhalla. First, you got to say it right. Okay. So what is that? We're back in hell again. Because this is where Valhalla is located. Okay. It is not going upstairs. It is downstairs.
Okay.
So, well, Valhalla is, we like to go back to the beginning. But first, we have to review. Mm-hmm. This show is a series of shows. And we've been talking about it. First, we talked about the underworld. We talked about where Netherworld is. It's between the cliff that you go down when you die and the river. That section is called Purgatory or Netherworld. Then you have the river Styx. We talked about how you get across the river. Okay, which is not pleasant. Mm-hmm. We talk about if they're looking for you, you are grabbed and taken across the river. If you're claimed by somebody when you die, the watchmen are there as people will go down the cliff to not the watchmen, but the light bearers. They carry the lanterns for those who worship them in life. They will worship them in death, and they will be led to their dark castles of who they're working with. Okay, and we talked about into the darkness where the dark castles are located. Mm-hmm. We talked about the gates of hell. We talked about what that's about and how you can end up there. Hell is just a big open mine, a pit mine that they're mining in, and what goes on there. And we talked about that, and we talked about the three dogs of hell, but we didn't talk about everything. And this show is located to one giant part that on the other side of the river Styx that we left out. We did not talk about the Hells of Valhalla, which stretches for, oh my gosh, they're massive. The Hells of Valhalla on the other side of the river Styx. Okay. And we're going to talk about what the Halls of Valhalla is all about. Mm-hmm. And if you want to be a part of those great halls, if you want to visit there, or maybe one day you can qualify to sit at one of the tables. Okay. Because to sit at the table, you have to qualify. Okay. So at first we're going to talk about Valhalla. But as we normally do, we're going back to the beginning. How far are we going back this time? Are we going back 100 years, 50 years, 1,000 years? Well, we're going back to something, but at first I need to fix something real quick. But we're going back pretty far. We're going back to what? What are we going back to? We're going back to, I need to fix this right here. We're having some technical issues. Okay.
Okay.
I think, let's see. Okay, we're doing good. Okay, so how far are we going back? We're going back to the Ten Commandments. We're going back to the rules that have always existed. Okay. In every religion, the Ten Commandments are the same everywhere. Okay. It says, thou shalt not kill. It's one of those commandments. So that have always been considered a bad thing. And you know that with that if you're a murderer or a killer, you probably won't be going upstairs. But there is some exceptions to that rule.
Okay.
Okay. Giant exceptions to that rule.
Okay.
That people don't like to talk about. Thou shalt not kill. But
Mhm.
there are exceptions because in war you are allowed to kill. And in the Bible, the Israelites killed a lot of people. Okay, they were sacking cities and killing all the inhabitants and everything. That is not considered killing because
Okay.
you're killing for a reason. And when you are a soldier, you're killing. Your job as a soldier is to follow your orders.
Mhm.
And that's the reason when soldiers are doing bad things, a lot of times they don't prosecute the soldiers. They prosecute their commanders
Okay.
and the person at the top because the leader is the one who is responsible.
Because they give the orders.
They give the orders.
Mhm.
Okay. And that's why they talk about today it has to be a just war and it has to be proportional war and this and that and whatever.
Mhm.
If not, for example, let's go all the way back before we had all this fancy stuff today. Even in the old days, let's say back 1,000, 2,000 years ago. Okay, if you was the king, and if you're a king and you're just pillaging and plundering and causing hell, you was not considered a good king.
Mhm.
A good king was doing what was good for his people.
Okay.
And what was good for his people was to protect his people. And if there was people on the other side of the mountain or on the side of the river that was coming across stealing cattle, this and that and everything else, and if the king needed to round up an army and go and teach those people a lesson or to defeat them, that was not considered murder. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now, if you're doing the pillaging, see, you always have to have a reason to kill.
Okay.
So as long as you're following orders
Mhm.
and you have a just reason, that's the reason under the Geneva Convention. If you are a soldier, you have to have what they call rightful orders.
Okay.
Okay. And as a German, and back to the Roman period, Roman soldiers did a lot of bad things because they got orders from Rome.
Mhm.
And they was told to destroy that city or kill all those people. And they didn't know if the people was good or bad or not. Same thing. You're in the military now and you're in Iraq or Afghanistan and they tell you to attack that village.
Mhm.
Are those good people, bad people? Did they go to the mass last Friday or did they say their prayers? You don't know. Right. You're just told to do something.
Yeah.
Okay, you get what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Now, you hope that your orders are just. And when you find out that your orders are not just, that you went in there because they was trying to steal something or get something or for revenge or whatever, that's when people start complaining up the chain of command. Orders have to be just. Mm-hmm. You have to be doing it for a reason. Okay. And you was doing it for to protect the country or to protect this. We're over in Afghanistan and Iraq supposedly to keep the peace. Right. And if you're attacking those people because those people are bad people, blowing things up and whatever, you call them combatants. Okay. As long as you're fighting them, that is not considered a sin, even though they are dying. Okay. Okay. So you can be a soldier and still go upstairs. Mm-hmm. You can still go downstairs being a soldier because it's still based on what you're doing, if you're a good person or a bad person. Okay. But you're a soldier, you are just following orders. Okay. That is not going to get you to Valhalla. Okay. 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 Now, in the military, there's different people in the military for different reasons. Some people are in the military because they're just trying to survive until their time is up to go home. And they're counting the days and hopefully they won't lose an arm and a leg and they can't wait to get home, right? Okay. That's group number one. Group number two is trying to make a career out of being in the military, and they're in the military, and they are just they are trying to stay out of trouble. If there's a big battle over there, they're going to try to avoid the big battles, this and that, because they want to get their 20 years in so they can retire. Mm-hmm. That's group number two. Is that other group of soldiers, though, that really are there because they believe they're doing something right. They're fighting for their country. They're fighting for democracy. They're trying to make the world a better place, this and that, and everything else. Mm-hmm. That's group number three. And those are the people that are willing to risk their life and die for a cause. Mm-hmm. Okay. Those are the people that you want on the front line. The people are willing to fight. The other ones, if the fighting get tough, they might try to wiggle out. But the ones who are willing to fight and die for what they believe in, whatever that, if that is America, Al Qaeda, whatever it is, you have people that believe and they're willing to fight and die for that cause. Mm-hmm. Then you have group number four. Some people just love the hunt. Okay. Being in war is like being in a video game. Mm-hmm. It's not like hunting deer, because the deer don't have any weapons. They can't fight back. They like the hunt. They study ways on how to kill people, and they really get their, pardon my expression, their rocks off by, you get what I'm saying, don't you? They love the art of warfare. And when there's a battle somewhere else, they're fighting with their commander. Sir, can I go? I want to go. I want to go over there. I want to go over there. Mm-hmm. Because they just love it. They just, oh my gosh, they love combat. It just drives them insane. Mm-hmm. And some people, when their time is up and they're ready to get out, they don't want to get out, because if you're a sniper or if you're a Green Beret and whatever, mm-hmm. to get out of the military as a Green Beret or a sniper, to get a job at Walmart or to be a truck driver, what the hell? I know 100 ways to kill a person. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm talking about? I'm very good at it, okay? That's where you get people that become mercenaries and things like that, and you get what I'm saying, don't you? Those are people who have been that way. So to understand where this urge come from, now we're going to go all the way back. Okay. We're going to go on a long tangent and tell a little story. Okay. I read a lot of books you haven't read and should not read. Some of these books have left me scarred. Some of them left me permanently scarred. One of the worst books I've ever read was the book of Azeroth. You should never read that book. I didn't even tell you the name of it. But we're going to talk about that book for a little bit, because it talks about in that book how the earth was when Azeroth first came to the earth. He said when he came to the earth for the first time, all men did was fornicate themselves all day, and they laid around, and the women ran everything. Okay. And he hated it. And he taught men how to rise and stand like a man. And he taught men how to make swords and weapons. But the gods conspired against him. Okay, because it was not yet his time. And they taught the people how to make calendar wheels, Stonehenge, so they could show the people it was not yet his time. So he withdrew until it was his time. And when it was his time, he returned. He burnt all of her temples, killed all of her priests, and he taught men how to be men, how to be hunters of men. Okay. And taught men taught men the art of war. And a great one rose among them, and his name was Nimrod, and no one could stand before him, man nor God, and he conquered in his name, and the whole world trembled before him. Okay. And the gods again conspired against him, for they knew where the old weapons were stored, the weapons that was used in the Great War. They was hidden in the mountain where they first landed, and they gathered the old weapons and put it before his army and told him to advance no more. And when he advanced, they released the old weapons and everything. It was like the sun was on the surface of the earth. Cities went up, and cities was vaporized into sand, and clouds, giant clouds, arose from the earth and rose towards the heavens. Okay, we think nuclear war started in 1945. This is what they talk about in the in back in the Hindu records. This is what they talk about. This is why Oppenheimer, when they recreated the bomb, was talking all this Hinduism stuff, because they talk about the nuclear war that was fought long time ago. Okay, on the earth, long before. Mm-hmm. The reason, and we're going to stop that story there. That was bad enough. But the reason we got into that, because remember, he said he taught men how to be a man. Okay. Mm-hmm. How to stand. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Not fornicating themselves, not screwing around, not making babies, and how to become hunters of man. Okay. Some people love the hunt. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Let's go back into another story. We're going to take another tangent.
Okay.
Okay. Back in the Viking days. In the Vikings, you heard of the word berserk. That comes from the word berserker. What a berserker was, when the Vikings was going to attack, they would give their great warriors the bitter tea. And they would drink the tea. Okay. And they would give them 2 battle axes. And they would release them. Okay. And at the end of the fighting, if the tea hasn't worn off, they would have to take a line of men with swords to tackle them. And some of them would even be killed trying to tackle them. And they would tie them to a tree or to the mast of the ship until the tea wore off. And most of the time, they would not remember what they have done. Okay. This is how you get to Valhalla.
Okay.
You got to be a hunter. You got to enjoy the hunt. Okay. We're still going back in time, but now we're almost up to the day. Let's talk about what was going on in Huntsville, Texas. Okay. Now, we didn't know about this until the late 70s when the federal government busted them. But what they was doing in Texas at the big prison in Huntsville, who knows how long they was doing this, okay. They would release a prisoner on purpose and give him so long to run. And then they would do the big hunt to try to find him. Okay. With the dogs and everything else. Okay. That was they would even make T-shirts about that.
Okay.
The great hunt they would do. And normally it was a black guy they would release. They would release somebody who was really big and bad.
Okay.
And then they would hunt them down and track them. And most of the time, it wasn't a happy ending. The reason why we found out, and this stuff might have been going on for 100 years. It probably wasn't only in Texas. It was probably going on in Texas, Louisiana, all this other state. This was just rodeo. You get what I'm saying, don't you? Okay. Until they released one guy. He ended up killing several prison guards, and he made it to safety, and he went to the police and told them, yes, I'm an escaped convict, but this is what is happening. And at first they didn't believe what was going on until they did a little investigation and the federal government got involved. And oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Nobody believed that was going on. Okay. But this might have been going on. See, some people enjoy, why you want to hunt a deer? A deer can't fight back. You get what I'm saying, don't you?
But you can eat it.
Okay.
If you like venison.
This is why some people love the hunt. This is why some people who, not all of us, there's a lot of people who are missing. Because some people, when they have an enemy or this or that, they, Okay. Not everybody is fornicating themselves. Okay, okay. This is how you qualify for Valhalla. You have to be a hunter of men. You have to enjoy the hunt. You have to be good at the hunt. And let's talk about another story. Let's talk about when Ethiopia and Eritrea was fighting. You had Russia was providing weapons to both sides, and you had Russian fighter jets from Ethiopia and Eritrea fighting each other in the air, shooting each other down. There was Russian fighters in both of the jets because if you're a warrior, you don't give a who you're fighting for. You just love the hunt. And if you're shooting down a fellow Russian, hey, what? It doesn't make any difference to you. You get what I'm saying? It's just like a video game, but better. You get what I'm talking about? This is how you make it to Valhalla. You have to be that hardcore. Okay. That's the reason they talk about the brave ones, not the ones that's sitting around and crying and letting women run their lives and raising kids and this and that. No, there's some people out there that got, they got it together. So, but most of these people are warriors. And these warriors are being collected. Okay. Now, I have in my life, only ran into a person who qualified for Valhalla once. Okay. I did a reading on a guy. Okay. And in the reading, it said he qualified for Valhalla.
Wow.
And I wanted to know, he was military. He was ex-military. I want to know how many people did you kill? And he said, I don't remember killing anybody. And we started the story. Okay. He was stationed in Iraq for a year and a half. Okay. And then they sent him to Afghanistan. He was supposed to do a year and a half in Afghanistan. Okay. The base he was stationed at kept getting attacked. His best friend got killed. And then the base got attacked again. And his friends say he lost it. Okay. After a few months in Afghanistan, they sent him home. And he was at a medical base here for several months before they gave him a medical discharge. Okay. He said he doesn't remember anything. Okay. It's like he has dreams of like he's watching a movie. And he doesn't know if that's him in the movie or not. But he's not sure. Yeah. But the reading said that he's a great warrior and he qualifies for Valhalla. So you know what happened when he lost it. You get what I'm saying? That's the reason his own men sent him home. Okay. He lost it. Okay.
I personally know a sniper too.
Okay. He lost it. That is how you qualify for Valhalla. Okay. If you got to be that badass, you got to be the so you don't have to be in the military. If you're working in a drug gang, or if you're this or that, or an enforcer, or if you're a police, some police, let's talk about these police officers. Uh-oh. Some police officers join the force because they want to protect the peace. Okay. They want to protect the innocent and do what's right. Here we go. They say it's a few bad apples, but some people join the police department because they want to legally kill people and legally beat people up. You have these dirty Harrys out there. You get what I'm talking about, and you ain't making it to court. Okay. Yeah. And they got a badge. And back in the good old days, nobody questioned what they did. Dirty Harry never got in any trouble. You get what I'm talking about? Okay. Now we want to get rid of those type of policemen today. Okay. But that's why I'm not going to say all policemen is like that, but there's a percentage of them, maybe 20, 30%, who joined the force because they enjoy beating people up, this and that. They was the bully in school, this and that. And now they're the bully with a badge. And they can kick ass legally. Okay. Today, they're in big trouble. 10, 20, 50, 100 years ago. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you go to Valhalla. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions, comments?
No, not really.
Anybody disagreeing?
Just no. The last one sounds like that guy's mind was suppressed a whole lot of bad stuff. You know, the guy you did the reading on.
He didn't even have the tea, the bitter tea.
Yeah.
He didn't even have the bitter tea. His friend got killed, and as they say, he lost.
Yeah.
Okay. You get what I'm saying?
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when your own friends send you home, okay. You know what I'm saying, don't you? He was supposed to be there for a year and a half. He said he has no memory of what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what happens.
And that's why he ended up in the hospital over here for several months. Okay. And then he got a medical discharge. But he do not remember. It was like, as he said, watching TV. Mm-hmm. And he don't know if that's him or not. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was Rambo doing all of that he saw on that TV. Okay. Mm-hmm. It wasn't him, right? Okay. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, not everybody has to drink the tea. Some people study ways, and I knew a guy before, and he used to have books about all the different ways you could kill a person. You get what I'm saying? And how you could do it with, you can do it with, you don't have to have a gun. You can do it with a knife. You can make weapons. You can do that. And he had all these books of all these techniques of killing people and the different ways of doing it and how you could do it with, without a person screaming and how a person, okay. Hello. Okay. Now, he was just reading the books. He wasn't doing nothing. He was just reading the books. You know what I'm saying, don't you? Mm-hmm. Okay. He was a church mouse. We all know that, right? It's hard to tell. I'm not the judge. I don't know. But if you want to get the Valhalla, you have to be that type of person. Mm-hmm. Show no mercy, no pity, and you got to know what you got to do. Okay. And that is what Valhalla is all about. They are being gathered, these people, not just now, but since the beginning of time. Okay. All the warriors are being gathered. Okay. So if you we're not to there yet. Okay. So if you want to get to Valhalla, you got a lot of work to do. You got a hell of a lot of work to do because you got to be the bad of the badass. Okay. Me, I'm too busy fornicating to be a badass, so I'm not even trying to get there. You get what I'm talking about? Okay. And I'm in hell right now to do this show, but I try not to go down there too often because it's a little too hot for me. Okay. I'm not into that. Okay. I like things better going up than going down myself personally. But some people hate. They enjoy. It's like summer every day. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. So, any questions, comment before I go further?
No.
Okay. So, I told you this show is deep, but you hear about this. See, all of this is secret society information. People know about this. Is why in a lot of songs, especially hard rock and whatever, they talk about going to Valhalla, this and that and everything else, but they never talk about what they're going there for. Okay, if you're going to go to Valhalla, that means you're not selling flowers on the street corner. You get what I'm talking about? There, you're hinting at what type of person you are. And let's take another diversion. When you talk about the martial arts was taught as a military thing to protect your village, to protect your people, this and that. What you see in the Kung Fu movies and everything is that the martial arts have diminished to the point over the last 100 years that it's just street fighters, where people, if you think you're the baddest ass kung fu person or a karate person, you're just willing to fight anybody. And on YouTube and these other places, type in street fighting. You can see people they form a circle and two guys start. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because some people believe that they're badass and they're out to prove how badass they are. And they're willing to get beat up, broken jaw, mouth, this. Sometimes these fights, people die. But they're willing to do this. They're not fighting for country. They're not fighting for any belief system. They're not fighting for freedom or democracy. They're just fighting because they believe they're the baddest ass out there and there's nobody better than them. And they want to prove that point. Right? That's what Bruce Lee was all about. He wasn't fighting for the country. He wasn't fighting for China. He wasn't fighting for any ruler or anybody. He was just kicking ass and taking names. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. So that is how you get to Valhalla. Now, once you get to Valhalla, that is just to qualify to get to Valhalla. Now, once you get to Valhalla, you're there, but you cannot have a seat. Valhalla is dorms. And the dorms, they have the long tables, what they call the meat halls, because on the long tables, they have a buffet, a feast every night.
Okay.
But you don't have a seat at the table. You're only going to get the crumbs. You only have qualified to be in the hall. To get a seat at the table, you have to be the worst of the worst because you have to earn a seat at the table.
Okay.
And if you're just a regular badass and not super badass and not a super okay, you're not going to get a seat. So only the worst of the worst.
Okay, you mean like Jeffrey Dahmer who kills?
No.
And
if you're Jeffrey Dahmer, you're not going to make it. He's just killing people just to be killing people. That is not the hunt. This is what people don't understand. People think if you go around killing prostitutes, you're going to get the. That's not going to get you to the hunt. That's going to get you in front of the Queen of Hell, who's going to judge you and put you on the wall, as we said before. Because you're not hunting. You're just killing innocent. That's the same as shooting dogs with a BB gun. That's not going to get you nowhere. Okay.
Okay.
Because you got a BB gun and you're shooting dogs, or you're picking up strangers or prostitutes and killing them. That's not going to get you to Valhalla.
Okay.
That's just killing people. To get to Valhalla, it has to be the hunt. You have to be a hunter of men.
Okay.
So if you're a regular soldier, you're not going to get to Valhalla too, because you're just following orders. And you're just trying to survive that battle. That's the reason in all these battle scenes, you see people, even though bullets are flying everywhere, most people are on the ground trying not to get shot. You see some people standing up, giving orders, this and that, because, hey, if it's meant for me to die, I'm going to die. I'm not going to lay on that ground, right? You get what I'm talking about. I'm going that direction. So do not misunderstand that.
Okay, someone says, I missed a little bit. I'm not understanding if this is a good or bad place. It's a bad place. Right?
We're not upstairs in heaven.
Yeah, okay. It's a bad place. It's a really bad place.
The Halls of Valhalla.
That's why we're in hell.
Is on the other side of the river Styx. You're not going to judgment. They're not locking you up. If you're a warrior man and you're good at it, you're going to end up in the hall. See, not everybody's going downstairs is going to hell. Some people are going to the dark castles if you serve them in life. And not the worst person I ever did a reading, or remember, the scale goes from a -10 to a +10. Okay. I did 2 readings, unfortunately.
Okay.
On people that I didn't know who was working for those people in Mexico. Okay. We're not naming names. We're not doing nothing. My hands are shaking. Okay.
Yeah.
And the one I met was -7.
Okay.
And he told me he had done a lot of bad things.
Okay.
And he was very good at it.
Okay.
He was not going to hell. He was claimed by death. And he worked with death. And he said death, he's not so afraid of death because death is his friend. And you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
See? Okay. A lot of these people that do bad things, they know they're not going upstairs. But as long as you got, as they say, as long as you got friends in low places and your friends are low places is going to cover you. Like as I said, that is what the watchmen of what the light bearers are for. Because if you, a lot of these people along the Mexican border and with Spanish, they worship Santa Muerte, and these people worship death. Okay, in English is not is it goes by a different name. You go by Nagel or go by several other names that people want to call death or whatever, or Hades or net, or they call it
Neptune. Remember?
Okay.
Neptune.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you want to worship death or Yama or death is called different things all over the world. Death is death, and if you want to worship death. Death offers you one thing. Death doesn't offer you eternal life. And people have been worshiping death since the beginning of time because death offers you short, sweet life. Okay. And as it says, another book you shouldn't be reading in the demonic Bible. What is the point of having a long, boring life when you're miserable and you have nothing of the things you want? Isn't it better to have all the things you want, to be happy in one short life, and then it's over? And when they say it's over, they really mean it's over. Okay. There's no retirement program when you're in a gang or a mob or this or that. There's no retirement program. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's short, sweet life. And when they end up dead or in prison or whatever, they talk about how sweet their life was and how high they could stack it and how many people they beat up and how many people they killed and how many women they had. Okay, it was all about the game of who had the most toys. You see what I'm saying? Okay, short, sweet life. And they're willing to sacrifice their long, boring life to gain short, sweet life. And death is willing to give you short, sweet life. Okay. So, any other question?
No, not really.
Okay, excellent. Is there any other question you can ask? But we was on to, okay, so you got to understand, killing people, killing dogs, doing all this weird stuff doesn't get you a place in Valhalla. Okay. Because you're not, Valhalla is only for people who are hunters of man, who are warriors. Okay. You get what I'm saying? And if you're not a warrior, you're not going to end up there. But there are people, especially now, it says the title of this show was Valhalla, where the brave shall live forever. Forever is not forever. But people don't know, like when we was promised going to live forever. They keep telling us that. But forever is not forever. Forever is 1,000 years. That is one day. See, to live forever, to God, a day is 1,000 years. If you live one day to God, that is considered forever. So that is how long a human soul can last. That is your maximum lifetime. But you may not be in your first incarnation. You might be in your 5th, 7th, 9th, or whatever. Okay. And then so if you go to Valhalla, you're going to be there until your time expires. Okay. So the oldest people, since let's say you was in your first incarnation and you qualified to go to Valhalla. The oldest people that's going to be in Valhalla right now is going to be warriors from around 1200. That's going to be the oldest people there. And there's very few of them because most people didn't qualify in their first incarnation. And so that's the reason they're constantly motion, because as the halls are emptying out, the new bad ones are filling up the new halls. And the halls are not everyone kept together. This is another misconception about Valhalla. If you died in World War II, you are there with your friend in one hall. All the Nazi soldiers are there in one area. All the people that died in the Crusades, all the people that died in the American Revolution on the Confederacy are in one hall. That is why there's different halls. That's the reason it's called the halls with an S of Valhalla, because you are focused on your time that you lived and your time in history. So if you died fighting the Civil War, and if you was slashing people through in the line and you just was badass as a Southern soldier or a Northern soldier, when you went to Valhalla, you are there with your fighting buddies.
Okay, someone's asking a question.
Yes.
What if you're nice after you were a killer? Did charity work and took care of people and animals? What happens then? Well,
Okay.
To me,
go ahead.
God's going to judge you, right?
But if you're a soldier and not soldiers, most soldiers are not hunters of men. If you're a hunter of men, you can be I guess you could go to church on Sunday and whatever, and then you just go out
you can
and
always ask forgiveness.
Okay,
right?
But if you like to hunt people and you like to go out in the woods, and there's
Look
people.
Look at the thief on the cross.
Okay, I hate to tell you this, but this goes on even today, where some people pay giant money where they can go to third world countries and they go there to hunt and kill people. Okay. Now, I guess you could go to church when you come back and sit in there and sing the songs and whatever, but that does not, because you're not hunting. See, if you kill, you're supposed to kill to eat, kill for protecting your family, kill for your nation where you was ordered to do something. If you're paying $50,000, but so you could go to some third world country and you can hunt people down and shoot them and kill them. I don't care how many Hail Marys you do or rosary beads you count. That's not going to erase that, because you're a hunter of man. Man is not on the menu.
It's not going to erase it. But then what if you go back home and a year or two later,
so you kill people? You
can ask God for forgiveness.
Okay. That's between. I'm not going to answer that. That's between you and that man upstairs. So if you rape and murder and kill, and then on your deathbed said, okay, give me the cross, that's okay. Now, you can try that one. To me, the scales are pulled out. All of the things you did good in your life on one end and bad. But if you're killing people and doing stuff like that and raping people, those are very heavy weights. Those are not feathers. And if you're going to stack that on one side of the scale.
But God says all our sins are the same.
Okay. Whatever.
Okay.
Go with her. Okay. Go with her. So that means you have the green light to do whatever you want to.
No.
Rape, pillage, and kill.
No.
But anyway.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
No.
Let's get back to our conversation. Okay. So, but I believe.
Okay.
Remember, this goes back. See, we're not talking in this conversation. We try to stay out of religion because spirituality has been the same. And if you talk about what the Egyptians believed, what the Babylonians believed, what these people believe, it have always been the same. That your heart is weighed against a feather. Okay. And your heart has to be light. And if you're doing a lot of bad things, it makes your heart heavy. Okay. You get what I'm saying? And this has been written in books all around the world for thousands of years. It's not what some preacher said or what this said. See, spirituality is universal. The rules of good and bad is universal. People today want to take things and try to twist it and make it politically where it suits their thing. If you want to go that direction, you got to have a light heart. You got to do good things. You cannot do all these giant bad stuff and have this super heavy heart where you can't sleep at night. And these people that do bad things, they will tell you. They have told me doing readings, I have trouble sleeping at night. I see faces. Okay. I don't see no faces when I go to sleep because I didn't do anything. But if you're murdering and raping and killing people, you see faces when you try to sleep. And that's between you and that man upstairs, if he's going to erase those faces or not.
That's what I think. Yes.
But you, that person had a life to live. And if you're going to shorten their life, and if they were supposed to live to 60 years old and you killed them at 22 because you got bored and drunk with your friends and you shot them with the shotgun, you know. But I guess that's not really a sin because he was not important anyway. He was just a little kid. Okay, that's between you and the man upstairs. But some people don't care about where they're going to go. And to me, you're judged by your works. And if you do good works in your life, then you don't have these skeletons in your closet. You don't have to be worrying about what if somebody found out about this or that. So that is what you need to be doing. So let's get back to our subject. Now, if you're in Valhalla, I guess you could do rosary beads and try to get out, but we're not going there. That's between, I'm not going there. I'm just telling you, this is not just this belief of this special place for warriors is not just the Viking myths is what we know about today. But the Romans, most civilizations have thought that military people that do very bad things cannot go up or down. Okay. Not just regular soldiers, because regular soldiers are following orders. You're only going to do what you're ordered to do. Mm-hmm. And if somebody's attacking your country, or if you're under orders to do this, that is not, you are under orders. That is not a warrior. A sniper, if you're a sniper and you're ordered not to let no one cross that road, that's the reason there's good snipers and bad snipers. A bad sniper is not a warrior of men. He is not going to shoot everybody that crosses that road because there's a lady that's a kid. Some snipers don't give up. Mm-hmm. And they don't care who it is. And it could be anybody. Mm-hmm. They got one bullet, one kill, and they're marking on the wall how many. They just don't care. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? They could be eating. And some people are just that cold. Okay. Not only people in war, some people are cold in a lot of places. Most people are not that way. And that's the reason not everybody can be a sniper. Because most people, if you give them you're their sniper and you say, don't let nobody cross that road, they're going to try to separate the combatees from the non-combatants. Mm-hmm. And they're going to say, hey, you letting people across the road, but that was a pregnant lady. That was a young kid. That was they're not going to shoot everybody. Mm-hmm. Some people just don't give up. And even people that get close to the road, hey, you shot that guy? Well, he was in the alley and he probably would have crossed the road eventually anyway. So I just did him a favor. That's how some people are. Okay. And again, it's not up to me to judge. Remember, the watchers are watching everything you do. They're the ones who decide where you're going. And most of us, we was in the land of light. Came down here, went into the dark tunnel, ended up here. And at the end of our life, we want that tunnel to reopen and we want to go back upstairs to the land of light. We don't want to slide down the cliff and go into the neither world. We don't want to cross the river Styx. And we're not interested in this journey. I'm only down here to talk, Maybe I visit a person down here or two, but to me, it's too damn hot down here. I try not to come down here that often.
Someone's asking a question.
What?
Are there bad watchers?
Watchers have free will, but watchers are, that's a different subject that we need to talk about on a different day. But watchers are watching and they record. They do not judge. They're just recorders. Their job is to watch and record. Okay. Their job is not to judge. When you die, your life is flashed and you are judged. Okay. Their job is that's the reason when you die, the book is open. Their job is to write it in the book. And you think nobody saw what you did. They wrote it in the book. Okay. Now, maybe you can do some Hail Marys and some rosary beads and whatever, and they'll erase it from the book. That's between you and them. I'm not going there. But we'll talk about the Watchers. That's something we can talk about in a neighboring podcast because we still got to finish this, and then we got to go to the third part of this subject, which is not good either. But we talked about how you get to Valhalla, to one of the halls, how the halls are separated by battles from all over the world. So if you died fighting, let's say if you was in China and you was fighting the Japanese in World War II, all of your badass friends and you are in one hall. They don't mix the halls. It's only you and your friends together. And y'all are training together, talking together. Everything is about battle, battle, battle. Because y'all are all warriors. And the baddest ass in that one hall get to sit at the table. They get the feast, and then the other ones get the leftovers. You get what I'm saying? So if you want a seat at the table, you have to earn your seat. You have to be the badass of the badass to earn a seat at the table. Okay. Now, why are they being gathered? We got running out of time. Yeah. We did get to why are they being gathered? Why have all the warriors been gathered since the beginning of time?
Because there's a war in heaven, right?
And this is not the Viking thing. This thing about the warriors, the Egyptians talked about this. People all over the world have always talked about how all the warriors are being gathered. They're being gathered for the great battle. Okay. This is why they have always been gathered for the great battle. They don't know when the great battle is going to come, but they are ready. And this is talked about in the Bible, that in the great battle, that the dead will devour the living. So this is why they want the badass of the badass, because just like when you see in the Pirates of the Caribbean and whatever, they could and when this war starts, they're going to call on the dead to rise. Not just this is what they get wrong in zombie movies. It's not going to be your dead grandmother rising. It's not going to be that guy who's an office worker over there rising with his suit and tie on. The dead that's going to be rising is the dead of Valhalla, which is rising. The bad of the bad. They will rise, and they will be after your ass. They will be the ones who are devouring the living. That is why they're being gathered for the final battle. The final battle is the war between us, them, and them. We are just the creatures in the middle. We are the human shields which are protecting the people downstairs. And they have their fighting force protecting them.
And what it says too, the
what?
Anyway.
Okay.
Somebody is saying, so basically you're a demon if you get to sit at the table.
No, you're not a demon. Okay. To qualify for Valhalla, you have to be a hunter of men. Okay. Not a hunter, not a soldier, a hunter of men. Someone who loved the hunt, someone who studied the hunt, someone who's good at the hunt. Okay. Now, if you're badass and if you enjoy that art of hunting men, you can qualify for Valhalla. That gets you into the Hall of Valhalla. Now, once you're in the hall, so if you die in the drug war in Mexico, for example, they're putting all your druggy friends who was enforcers and this and that and paid assassins and all that, you're all in one hall.
Okay.
But they have a feast every night. To have a seat at the table, you have to earn a seat. Okay. The seats are for the worst of the worst. That's how you earn a seat at the table. Yeah. And if you're not at the table, then you eat the crumbs which is left behind after they feast.
So basically, if you're at the table, you're pretty bad.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. I mean,
you're not really a demon. You're just damn good
really
at. Bad. Okay, you're just damn good. Okay, and you earned a seat. And just because you got a seat, you have to keep your seat at the table. That means you got to remain. This is what they talk about in the Romulan movies and Star Trek.
So
in Romulan, we're taking another diversion. In Romulan theory, any sign of weakness, the commander can be bumped off. You can only be a commander if you show no weakness. And any sign of weakness, your men have the authority to eliminate you immediately. That's what Romulan society is like in Star Trek. I guess that's what's going on downstairs. If you got a seat at the table, if you're not badass and going to remain badass, and if you're going to show any weakness at the table, your seat is gone. Okay. Now, they are going to be released, as I said, in the Great Battle. So these people are their frontline soldiers that's going to fight in the Great Battle. Whenever Armageddon comes, these people are going to be released.
And who's going to fight against them? Us good people?
No, we're going to. It doesn't say that. First? It said the dead.
The dead in Christ shall rise first.
No, we're not talking about. No, you're getting mixed up. Okay. You're talking two different events.
Okay. Okay, wait. There's a question.
And we're running out of time.
Last question. Is there any way to rank up in Valhalla?
What you mean rank up?
Rank up. You know, like.
Well, I guess down there they always keep. If you're in your group of people that belong to Mexican cartel members, you keep just like if you're in prison. If you're in prison in a prison gang and you're sentenced to 20 years, just because you used to be, there's new badasses coming in all the time. If you don't keep your badass status, you're going to go down in the ranking. You might have had a seat, but you could lose your seat. And somebody that didn't have a seat can gain a seat. That's what keeps you being badass, because you want to keep your seat. If you turn soft, you're going to lose your seat. Okay. Right? Now, this is talking about, what she's talking about is in the second death. We're talking about in the battle itself. When the forces of God comes, you can come on a white horse or whatever, and the devil releases all of his forces from below. Which is
going to be
people, okay, but right? This is one of his forces.
Okay.
We talking, he has another secret army too downstairs that we're going to talk about. And another, we're out of time. But this is his one fighting force he has downstairs as reserve. Is these dead warriors in the halls of Valhalla, which are being kept for the final battle, which is the Battle of Armageddon. That is the final battle. They're being prepared to fight that battle. So when they are released, if they are released, they will be released at their era. So if they was fighting with swords, they're going to be coming back with a sword, and they was fighting with guns. See, they're locked in their time period. But these are people that love to hunt. They don't care what time period it is. They don't care. They love to hunt and kill. And we're just rabbits. There's a lot of rabbits out there. 7 billion rabbits on this planet. Oh my God.
Trying to run.
They're going to try to get their bag limit. You get what I'm talking about? This is not good. We're out of time. Now, so, to give you a hint of this.
Try to be good.
Oh,
try
not
to get in that Valhalla.
Okay. So if you do, you're being traded. And when all of these people said they're getting a time, once their 1,000 years are up and their time is up and they go away. That's the reason there always have to be a new class of badass coming in to replace the ones that are gone, because our souls can only live for 1,000 years. So as the old classes are dying off, the new badasses are coming in. So the halls of Valhalla is constantly being renewed. The older people are dying out. So the oldest ones down there now is from the 1200s. And the new badasses are coming in as the freshman class, taking their place. But they're all there for one reason, for the final battle, which is the Battle of Armageddon, where the dead will rise. And this is the real zombies that they be talking about. These people are coming to kick ass. Now, there is a second fighting force that the people downstairs have, which is the animals. The animals are going to fight on their side too. That is the next thing we'll be talking about next week, because the animals are pissed off at us. Okay, because we was not given dominion of the earth. We was given stewardship of the earth. And the animals don't like how they have been treated under our rule. And they will seek revenge. Okay, we're going to talk about that next Wednesday. That is
Okay.
not going to be pretty. And we're
Okay.
going to talk about how the animals are being prepared and how they're working with the animals. And that's why they're letting us do all this terrible thing to animals, because they want the animals as pissed off as possible when the animals are released against us. Oh my gosh. That's going to be a beautiful day. So not only is dead soldiers going to be rising to kill you, there's going to be animals attacking, birds trying to peck you in the head. It's going to be a wonderful. It's going to be a wonderful day. It's going to be a wonderful day. And some people say, I can't wait for Armageddon to come. Oh, I want to put that off for several hundred years.
But hopefully, us that are saved are going to be okay, right?
I guess you're going to have your rosary beat at the time.
Okay.
We're out of time. I hope you enjoyed this. Remember, this conversation is not for everyone, but for those who want to know, this is secret knowledge. It's not for everyone. You're not, this is deep Gnostic stuff, but hey, it can't be secret forever. I'm your full spectrum Gnostic. My goal is to release everything. Okay. I'll see everybody Tuesday on my Facebook page, or I'll be back here Wednesday on the Spirit Realm Network. Mm-hmm. You need to take the rest of the week, relax, calm down, have a drink or two. Okay. This was heavy. This was very deep. Watch the other shows on the network. I'm out of here. Thank you. Bye. And I'm getting out of hell. It's a little too hot for me. So we're getting out of hell. I was thinking about leaving her down here, but I'll decide to take her with me. So we're sneaking out of hell, and y'all can have a nice one.
Bye.
Bye.